Toni McDonald. BBC.
What's it like when your voice is your fortune, as it were, makes you the money and you're famous, but not for your face, but as a voiceover artist supreme? Well, someone who knows all about putting the Grimballs into the Go-Jetters Grandmaster glitch, the Can We Fix It into the American version of Bob the Builder, is friend of the show, Marc Silk. And how did I do? Was that terrible?
It was clearly stunning, Toni. You taught me everything that I know. I've been listening for years and I just take tips on a daily basis. Hello.
Hello. Nice to speak to you.
You too.
And it's only very occasionally we hear your normal voice. Because
what a letdown.
So many. No, it's absolutely fabulous. What are you talking about?
The voice of Silk. The actual voice of Silk.
The Silk voice.
The Silk voice.
Now, people rarely ever see the voiceover artist. And okay, do you prefer voiceover artist or voice actor?
I'm fine with whatever works for you. I like voice actor because it's all acting. You're bringing characters to life. So, you're taking an idea and making this thing live and breathe. I think voice actor's kind of cool.
Yeah. But do you ever freak anybody out when you can do a voice and people look around and thinking where they're expecting to see the character on screen?
Oh, that happens at Comic-Cons. It's the most fantastic thing when there's events, and I'm lucky enough to meet people who are fans of the shows, and we'll be doing meet and greets and signing autographs and talks and stuff. And you'll see someone that like watches Go-Jetters, and they'll find out that I'm the voice of Grandmaster Glitch. I'll get you, No-Jetters. And you see their eyes turn into dinner plates. This thing is magical. It's very exciting for me to see how excited fans of these characters get when they meet the voice of those characters.
Do the voices ever unintentionally come out? Say you're on the phone to the council about something and then suddenly you just...
What do you mean there's no bin collection today? It was a green bin last week. I've only got so much room for trees.
It must do. I bet you so subconsciously you might just do it and you're thinking, actually, this is probably making no sense to them.
It's probably healthy to keep it contained.
Yeah. When did you first start doing them?
I think it was at school. I did a media course where we had to do a radio show, which frightened the world out of me because I was the quiet one that wanted to be the button guy, the engineer, the guy on the mixing desk. Yeah. And I was forced into doing this radio show, and all these things that I loved, all my heroes, these influences came out in that place. And it was like, okay, I think I've just found what I'm about and what I should do for the rest of my life. It was that was the start for me, I think. I've always loved and adored the craftsmen and women that were behind the scenes that you never really saw. You just loved, the magic that they created, whether it was musicians or, Muppets or special effects people or John Williams, the orchestrators of so many of your favorite film scores. It was that. But my heroes, so many of them were people who were character performers of my favorite cartoon characters.
See, I think it must be the best job in the world.
It is. It sounds like a cliche when people say that, but I genuinely adore what I do. And I get to work with people who I'm just so privileged to be in the room with, who become friends, or you just go, what an absolute treat to be with them. I've worked with you mentioned Absolutely Fabulous earlier. I worked on a show with Jane Horrocks called Fifi and the Flower Tots. We did that for years. So she was Fifi, this beautiful flower tot in this flower tot garden, and I was a little boy bee that was allergic to pollen called Bumble. Bouncing blueberries, Fifi. Fifi, forget me not, forgot. And he was all a bit bunged up. And there was a beautiful, cuddly slug called Slugsy, who's lovable and adorable and a bit moist because he's a slug. Hello, Tony. Yeah. And we did these shows together for years. And then after that, the next show from the same people was called Roy the Racing Car, which was Peter Kay and me. And again, we worked alongside each other for a good number of years. And there was Peter and then Murray Walker, who was a guest on a bunch of these shows. And the narrator was Sir Sterling Moss.
No.
So some of the people you're in the room with, it's incredible. But you mentioning Absolutely Fabulous, the celebration of that amazing show. I worked with Jane and I worked with Joanna Lumley on a project once as well. And she was fantastic. At the end of it, she said, Mark, darling, I have so much admiration for voice actors. and she signed my script, for me, and it was just lovely to work with her.
And is it a small group of voice actors? Do you all know each other?
There are shows where you bump into like your favourites. Or you'll see people in the same studios, but also the engineers, because this whole thing's a big collaboration. So it'll be the engineers, the studios, the directors, the musicians, the writers. These are the people that you'll tend to bump into if you've got more of a career in this. So that's an important part to me as well. Just having those friendships and relationships with those people. It's like there's a new game about to come out called 2 Point Museum. We've been working on these 2 Point games now for over 5 years, and the connection with yourself, Toni, I'm the voice of the radio station you hear when you're playing it, and so you hear Ricky Hawthorne in the morning, good morning on 2 Point Radio, and Sir Nigel Bickleworth, who sees everyone other than myself as pure dreadfulness, and the last guy at night is Harrison Wolf, the conspiracy theorist. He loves UFOs. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff, but there's so much variety in it. It's lovely being part of this.
I'm going to look out for that game. Marc, brilliant to speak to you as ever. Thank you so much. Keep doing what you do, because it's clearly a joy and brings joy.
Thanks, Toni. Have a good one.
Thank you. You take care. That's Marc Silk, better known or heard as Grandmaster Glitch, Danger Mouse as well, the American Bob the Builder.
Nice to see you. Okay, bye-bye.